Everyone, how are we doing today? So real quick, just want to catch you up on yesterday. As you know, I went down to Fresno and led a 3-hour hands-on workshop that was just a total blast. We had about 45 to 48 people there. We hit such topics as cold calling scripts, perfect seller appointments. We walked through a couple of flips kind of right at the demo stage and talked about the do's and don'ts. What else did we do? We calculated yield on buy and hold. We talked about marketing. Talked about all kinds of stuff. It was a fun day. Really felt like we were helping some folks, and the participation was pretty cool. Actually, autographed a book, which was kind of fun. Somebody had bought a book and brought it to the event, so that was unexpected and kind of fun. I'll honestly admit that was cool. So as of today, as always, getting up, looking what's going on. A couple of things kind of jump out. First off, it looks like Wall Street, specifically Citigroup in this example. I think somebody there might be watching this channel. I think that's what's happening. Just kidding. But they're starting to raise the 2020 outlook, right? They sort of see what we've been talking about for, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks now, where the chances of a recession really have diminished. The consumer is good, cost of debt is low, and manufacturing, may be starting to eke out some positive growth, which would really set us up going forward. So they did make one huge caveat. Besides talking about the trade war early, it was all about the election. They were a little nervous about the November election, just because depending on either way it goes, it could shock the market and potentially make November and December interesting months. But when they talk about the economy, they were in lockstep with this channel. They see what we see. They see what we were talking about, and just a general at least start, right? They were like, the first half looks good. I think there was a general not willing to make a call about the election and where that goes, which is fair, right? This is going to be a very toxic election year because we're so divided, which is unfortunate, right? We're all Americans, so we'll see. It's talking about the election. I saw the most socialist behavior or posting that I've ever seen, and I try to stay away from politics, and I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to go that direction, but somebody is proposing, I don't know what you would call it, control of our big companies, right? Big currently defined as 40 billion. Who knows where that changes or evolves over time. But I just can't imagine big government being involved with our companies, or government involved with our companies. They're talking about how to set prices, how to deal with competition. Are you kidding me? The government is the biggest monopoly on the planet, and they want to tell our capitalistic companies how to deal with competitors and set prices? Are you kidding? And then it goes on to say it's following on the trend of Europe. I'm like, and you want to use Europe as a model? Are you kidding me? What are you thinking? So that article made me mad. I mean, that was like, this is what are they thinking? So I had to take a deep breath and move on to the next article, because again, that one kind of hit me between the eyes, because that's just not what the U.S. is. Now, the U.S. has plenty of problems, but following Europe down a path is not a great idea. Going from there, we went on to American Pets. I had to read something positive. As you all know, I love Jimbo, and we lost Jordan this year. But I love pets, specifically dogs. And did you know the American pet business is $72 billion with a B? We are a lot of pet-loving citizens or Americans, which is just pretty cool. If you were to ask me how big it was, I wouldn't have been close. I guess I have no context. I might have said 5 billion, so I would have been off by a factor of, what is that, 12, 14? Factor of 14, so pretty crazy. This is a huge week for trade. We are going to know Um, Certainly by a week from today, what is going on with trade, because it's the 15th, remember? I think gosh, what would I want to put out there? I would think by Wednesday we're going to know two things, right? Is a deal likely, right? Are they scheduling the two people at the top to be in the same city to sign something, right? You would think that would take time. And two, if we're not doing it, is there enough progress where we, the Americans, relent and say, okay, we'll hold off on tariffs for another week, post Christmas, post New Year's, whatever it is, who knows? I don't think we do, right? I think it is very clear if you look at the economies that the trade war has had more impact on one side versus the other, and it's not us. We seem to be rocking and rolling on a smooth but not hot trajectory into 2020. So I think we should take the negotiation power in the stance of strength, and we should go for it. If there's legitimate movement and we see it, delaying the tariffs until like the 5th of January wouldn't be a horrible idea. However, I'm all for raising it and seeing what happens if a deal is not done. So this is going to be a big week. I expect a lot of herky jerky movements with headlines and all of that heading into this. So it'll be interesting. And then last up, Dollar General, dollar store basically, is looking to open 1,000 new stores next year. That's 3 a day, roughly. And I look at that and go, what does that mean? First off, they're probably taking up space in a lot of these big warehouses that other retailers have left. So they can probably get some decent leases on a good portion of these, probably 30, 40, 50% of them. They're just going to swoop in and take a spot exited by someone else. So that's probably an okay move. But as far as the consumer goes, I think it shows that we are truly leaving a portion of, below the middle class behind, right? Shopping at the dollar store routinely, I think just means that we are unfortunately leaving, unemployment at 3.5 and a strong economy and cheap debt. I think I think there's a portion of the society being left behind. Again, I'm not sure how else to read that. Maybe you have some ideas. I'd love to hear them from you. But that's kind of what I thought when I saw that. I was just shocked at the number of 1,000, and I'm sure they did that for some marketing reasons because 1,000 is a lot sexier than 867. But we shall see. So, in the end, kind of a fun day. Kind of regrouping because yesterday was a really early day, getting up at 4 a.m., meeting all the folks in Fresno, doing 3 hours of training. So getting after it. Citigroup, kind of sees what we see, so that's kind of fun. I don't really look to those Wall Street firms for validation. I think they have ulterior motives and all of that, but sometimes it's interesting, especially when they agree with us after we've said it, right? I've been saying this for at least 2 weeks now, and to see them piggyback on top of the message is kind of cool. So at the end of the day, it'll be an interesting week for trade. It will not be boring, I am sure. So at the end of the day, have a great day. Take care. Have fun.